Hi there guys, welcome back to Box Pred. I will get to the Amir Carlos Molina fight for this weekend in a moment. First of all, I just wanted to briefly give my views on Ricky Burns. As you know, he was originally scheduled to fight Liam Walsh this weekend, but unfortunately Walsh was involved in a car crash and was injured, so was pulled out of the fight. And then his replacement came, Jose Ocampo, who this week, the week of the fight, has actually pulled out of the fight. So I was just looking for a bit of boxing news this morning and noticed that Ricky Burns is going to refuse to fight like an exhibition fight, if you like, a 10-round fight against what will be an unknown opponent, quite frankly. And I agree with him, and I think that it's definitely the right decision. Ricky Burns is at world level now. When you're rising up the ranks, you know, when guys are just starting out, they don't really train to fight particular opponents. They just they do their fitness, they do their boxing skills, they work on their game, but they go in with a general game plan, but it's not specific to that fighter, because they're just basically fighting journeymen and people of lesser level. As you rise up and you get to sort of British title, European title, and definitely onto world level, you have to train for that specific opponent. If you're any good, you're going to have to, if you want to be successful, you have to train specifically to exploit the weaknesses of your opponent and go in there with a game plan that's going to play to your strengths and against their weaknesses. So I wouldn't want to see Ricky Burns in the ring this weekend risking everything against someone he hasn't been able to prepare for. No matter how bad they are, a lucky punch can change it all. This is boxing, let's remember. So I think Ricky Burns has made the right decision in the long term. Okay, in the short term we don't probably get to see Ricky in the ring this weekend, but I think it's the right decision. You know, you wouldn't see Adrian Broner taking. I don't think you'd see Adrian Broner taking on a really late scheduled opponent at this point in his career that he hasn't had a chance to prepare for. Definitely not in a 10-round exhibition, a non-title fight. You really have to feel for Burns. It's disappointing for him. It's very unfortunate. He's been training for 2 months now, like a hermit, training really hard, living a boring lifestyle, just really taking it seriously and preparing for this fight. That's why he's improved so much, because he takes it so seriously and trains so hard. He's had really good sparring, I've heard. And, you know, this was the right decision. So, you know, unfortunate for Ricky Burns, but when we do see him back in the ring next year, I'm sure he'll be at his best, and it will be in a title fight, and it will be worthwhile. So now moving on to Amir Khan going up against Carlos Molina this weekend, and let's just take a look at Molina first. He is essentially a lightweight, so this is going to be light welterweight, I guess him. So he's moving up a weight class. He's only ever been a lightweight. If you look at the height of these two guys, which is something that's been mentioned in various articles on the web, Khan is 5'10", Molina is 5'6". That's a 4-inch height advantage. So straight off the bat, Khan's going to be the bigger guy in the ring. You know, Khan is been at this weight for a while. Molina is just moving up from lightweight. So he's got an instant physical disadvantage in my eyes. Now, in his last 4 victories have come by decision. So if you look at his KO ratio, it's less than 40%. Now I know that KO ratios don't always portray the real truth, the real picture of a fighter. They don't always display their actual power. I actually think in most cases it does, quite frankly. I think there's more cases where it does than where it doesn't. And I just think this guy at lightweight has got less than 40% KO ratio. You know, if he's stepping up a weight, that doesn't tell me he's going to bring any added power. It doesn't tell me he's going to be particularly dangerous. And I know that Khan has punch resistance issues, and he's known for having a weak chin. But if there is a fighter that they could pick, then this is the type of fighter they could pick to limit that danger in there. Here's a little bit of a strange fact. Not strange, but just I thought it was quite interesting when I was doing a little bit of research. About 4 fights ago, Molina actually drew. He's got a draw on his resume. And he drew with a guy who had 5 wins and 4 losses, something like that. And in that guy's next fight, he was actually beaten by Anthony Crawler by split decision. So that's kind of worrying for Molina, for me, the level, because no disrespect to Anthony Crolla, but I don't consider him near world class. He's actually struggling on a domestic level, in my opinion. So, you know, if that's the type of guy who Molina draws against, and I know it's probably, what was it, 8 or 10 rounds, but that gives you another inkling into how this fight should go, and the chance that Molina really has. He's not fought the best opposition. He's been fighting mostly out of California, a couple of times in Texas, and once in Las Vegas, I believe. All sort of on our western sort of side of the US. He's been fighting, like I said, not the best opposition, but obviously he's been trying to build his resume. He's only had well, actually, he's had a fair amount of fights, 20 odd fights, I believe, but not up with the level that Amir Khan's fought at, basically. Anyway. Another thing, big deal, he's never fought 12 rounds. The most he's fought is 10 rounds. That's an extra 2 rounds on the end. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it does make a difference, in my opinion. Just want to read a little excerpt from the BBC Sport website, who just put a little article up on this. And the way Molina's describing this fight, he says that I am willing to walk to hell and back. This is my shot. This is my opportunity. I have to be smart about it. I can't go in there and attack. I have to be smart about it. He is a good boxer. We have a good plan for him, and we are going to execute it on Saturday. So, the way Molina's talking, this is a big shot, which would show that he realises he's not really fought at this level before. This is his first real big opportunity. So we can garner from that yes, he's really stepping up in competition here. So enough about Carlos Molina. Let's talk and look at Amir Khan now. Has a level of fragility now, because obviously he got knocked out by Danny Garcia, and he's been knocked out before. All those chin issues come flying back. Weaknesses in his game defensively. I've already expressed my feelings on Freddie Roach after the Pacquiao KO loss on the weekend. That's the type of thing that can happen to Roach fighters. So let's just quickly look another quote from the BBC Sport website that to get Amir Khan's sort of thoughts on it. And Khan says, I know it's a make or break fight for me, that's why I'm taking it so seriously. And he says, hopefully everything will come together on Saturday and we're going to win this fight and finish the year strong. It's been a tough road, we have fought some big names. Here's the interesting part, it's going to be another tough fight. We're going to go in there and do what we do best. A win is a win. And I will be sticking to the plan and sticking to the instructions from the corner instead of getting too wild. People will see an exciting Amir Khan, but now I am a more mature fighter. So I know this is all talk. We hear boxers talk all the time, and it doesn't come to fruition. It doesn't translate into the ring. But that's sort of the type of thing you would expect Khan to say now, or I would hope Khan would say. So I'm hearing sort of the right things. A win's a win. I'll be sticking to the game plan, sticking to the instructions from the corner instead of getting too wild. Something he just didn't do under Freddie Roach. He obviously got too wild. He didn't stick to instructions. Maybe that's something Virgil Hunter's drummed into him. And something else I want to just... A couple of other quotes, this time from Virgil Hunter, from the Telegraph's newspaper website. And they interviewed Hunter about Khan and what he's been able to do. And he says... This is Virgil Hunter. He says, he has to be aware of a few things that I don't think he was aware of before. It's too late to try to teach him to slip punches. Very interesting. There are several defences that I teach, and one in particular I think will be very effective and complement his offensive style beautifully. From there we can broaden his horizons. He then goes on to explain about his gym in Oakland and how it suits Khan. He says, I have several kids that are already past being prospects, meaning that he means they're advanced enough to spar with Khan. I also have Alfredo Angulo, who is definitely a centerpiece to show Amir how to deal with pressure and teach him how to deal with fighters who need to get close to fight him. I have the right fit for Amir in my gym without a doubt. So here he's basically justifying why he feels his gym is right for Amir Khan. Alfredo Angulo, I can't argue with him, is a pressure fighter, a good pressure fighter, and one that is very good. If Amir Khan's had sparring with him and he's teaching him those defensive, the defensive aspects and techniques that he is alluding to, then Amir has obviously been able to practice that against a very good, effectively, essentially world-class or close to world-class pressure fighter, which is really good for Amir Khan. And it's very interesting there that Virgil Hunter says that it's too late to teach Amir Khan to slip punches, which shows his level of knowledge. There are more than one. There's far more than one way to teach defence, far more than one technique to defend yourself in the ring, and that shows me that Virgil Hunter is able to bring in a different technique that won't stifle Khan's offence, but will make it more economical and effective. So that's very good news from Amir Khan's point of view, in my opinion. And I still maintain it was a very good decision to go to Virgil Hunter. And in this fight, I'm very interested to see which Amir Khan comes into the ring, how he performs. Will he stick to the game plan? Will he do what he said he's going to do? Will he listen to Virgil Hunter? Hunter's a very calm guy. If you watch interviews with him, he's extremely calm in presence. I think that's what Khan needed. Someone calm who exerts authority, who, I think it's going to work for him in this fight. I really do. I think we're going to see maybe a little bit raw at this stage because it's the first fight under Hunter, but we're going to see maybe the seeds of a very good change, a very good, not change, perhaps maybe a improvement, development in Amir Khan's game. I think in this fight, I would pick Khan to beat Molina, whether he was with Virgil Hunter or with the Freddie Roach or with whoever. I think he's going to be too big for the start. I think he's going to be too quick for Molina with his combinations. Not that Molina's slow, but I think that Khan will be able to perhaps overwhelm him at times. So too big, too quick, and I have a question mark over Amir Khan's power, because I think for the punches he lands, perhaps should do more damage and hurt guys a bit more. He hasn't got, that killer power. He's got somewhere halfway, I think. Maybe he's not throwing them with enough, one punch aggression. Maybe he's trying to he throws 5 lighter punches where he could throw 1 or 2 heavier punches. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe that's something with a new developed style he could try to employ. But I think he'll be a bit too strong in this one. I actually think his power will tell. I'm going for Amir Khan to win by a stoppage in the 6th round. I would go earlier, but the thing is, I think he may, with this new sort of thought process, the mental process, he may be take his time. I think he's going to be patient. I don't think he's going to rush a stoppage. He's going to understand if he hurts this guy, he's got to take his time, and it will come. It's not something to be rushed and then get yourself hurt. If you hurt a guy, take your time, keep your defensive base, keep your technical base, do things methodically, and the stoppage will come. You hurt him in the first place because you had the ability to hurt him. You don't have to go above and beyond to hurt him again. And most of the time, once guys are hurt in the ring, it doesn't take much to end up stopping them. We saw that with Kessler against McGee on the weekend. Once that body was hurt, Kessler just had to touch it, and McGee was down. So that's my take on this fight. Mostly in this fight, I'm interested in seeing how what Amir Khan looks like. One thing I will say, something else from that interview with Molina, what Molina was saying is, yes, I believe he's talking sense when he says he has to box clever. He has to, they have to really take their time and box clever with Amir Khan, and they're not underestimating him. But at the same time, if they do that, I just feel that Molina doesn't have enough. If he doesn't try and grab this opportunity, he doesn't have enough to win a decision. He doesn't have enough, unless he lands a lucky punch, to hurt Khan. And particularly if Khan employs a better defensive technique. I just had this feeling before I sort of saw that interview. I was thinking Molina needs to try and catch Khan. He needs to take a little risk to try and bring out that prideful Khan that we know is his weakness. If he hits Khan, hurts Khan, maybe it will fly out the window. Maybe Khan will, get that pride again, try and fight back, and then that might play into Molina's hands. But we'll see on the night which game plan's better. I'm not sure how Molina. I haven't seen a lot of Molina, but I really think Khan should make this quite a straightforward victory, and I'm expecting him to end up overwhelming Molina and stopping him in around the 6th round. So that's my take on the fight. Please let me know what you guys think. Do you think that Molina's going to win this fight? Do you think he has something that I'm missing? What do you think Khan's going to look like? Do you think it is possible to teach him anything? Thanks for watching.